Ever wondered what the worst advice could look like? Picture this: Dr. Hatch Salmon's bewildering book, 10 Rules to Live By, filled to the brim with outlandishly terrible guidance. An unhinged guide to a fulfilling life, or so it claims. So let's delve into these bewildering rules, shall we? Rule 1. Embrace chaos. Now, doesn't that sound like a recipe for disaster? Dr. Salmon appears to be a fan of randomness and disorder, suggesting that they will lead to personal growth. But let's be real, chaos only leads to confusion and instability. Moving on to Rule 2. Cultivate a rivalry. The good doctor seems to believe in the power of obsessive competition, conveniently ignoring the toxic consequences of such behavior. Rule 3. Experiment on yourself. Promotes self-testing of unproven scientific theories. Safety and sanity? Apparently they're optional. Rule 4. Collect enemies. Positions having a roster of adversaries as a badge of honor, rather than a sign of poor relationships and conflict. And finally, Rule 5. Embrace your inner mad scientist. Dr. Salmon champions unchecked ambition and recklessness, giving ethical boundaries and responsibility the cold shoulder. And if you thought these were bad, wait until you hear the next 5. Now, on to Rule 6. Practice extreme self-care. And by that, Dr. Salmon means binge on cheese and start brawls. How charming. Following swiftly, we have Rule 7. Seek out conspiracy theories. Yes, he actually advocates for the propagation of misinformation and paranoia. A splendid way to create an informed society, isn't it? Next, we tumble into Rule 8. Cultivate a God complex. Here, the good doctor encourages us to ignore humility, empathy, and instead believe we're destined for greatness. As if that's not enough, Rule 9 pushes us to embrace the power of cheese, attributing mystical properties to our dairy friend. Finally, we arrive at the grand finale, Rule 10, defy consequences. This rule encourages us to live as if there are no repercussions for our actions, a surefire way to promote recklessness, wouldn't you agree? And there you have it, folks. The 10 most unhinged rules to live by, as per Dr. Salmon. In conclusion, 10 Rules to Live By is a dangerous and absurd book that should be avoided at all costs. The bewildering advice it offers is not only unhinged, but also potentially harmful. Dr. Hatch Salmon's rules advocate chaos, rivalry, reckless self-experimentation, and even a collection of enemies. The book's underlying themes of unchecked ambition, excessive indulgence, promotion of misinformation, and the defiance of accountability are alarmingly irresponsible. The 10 rules, far from guiding towards a fulfilling life, seem more like a recipe for disaster. This book is a catastrophe waiting to happen, a guide to chaos and harm. Instead, seek out sensible guidance that promotes balance, empathy, and responsibility.